The United States has implemented a new travel ban, impacting citizens from 43 countries. This decision has sparked considerable debate and concern worldwide. The ban, according to the administration, is crucial for safeguarding national security and protecting American interests. However, critics argue that it is discriminatory and will harm international relations. This essay will delve into the details of the new travel ban, examining its potential impact on a global scale. We will analyze the three-tier categorization system, explore the reasons behind the ban, and consider its historical context. Furthermore, we will address the criticisms surrounding the ban and its potential repercussions on various sectors, including international relations, business, and education. By understanding the complexities of this travel ban, we can better grasp its potential consequences and engage in informed discussions about its implications for the future of international travel and global interconnectedness. The new travel ban operates on a three-tier system, categorizing countries based on perceived security risks. The red list represents the most stringent category, imposing a complete travel ban on citizens from designated nations. The orange list signifies partial restrictions, limiting travel for specific purposes or requiring enhanced screening procedures. The yellow list serves as a conditional category, granting countries a 60-day period to address security concerns or face potential travel restrictions. This tiered approach aims to provide a nuanced response to security threats, tailoring restrictions based on the perceived level of risk posed by each country. However, the criteria for categorizing countries into these lists remain opaque, raising concerns about transparency and potential bias in the selection process. The lack of clarity surrounding the selection criteria fuels skepticism and undermines the perceived legitimacy of the ban. Critics argue that this lack of transparency hinders accountability and raises concerns about potential political motivations behind the selection of countries. The red list represents the most severe category of the travel ban, a measure that has been implemented to curb the spread of infectious diseases and protect public health. This list imposes a complete travel ban on citizens from designated nations, effectively halting all forms of travel from these regions. Countries on this list face stringent restrictions, which include not only the prohibition of entry into the United States, but also severe limitations on transit through other nations. This means that citizens from these countries are prohibited from entering the United States regardless of their visa status or purpose of travel, whether it be for tourism, business, or even urgent family matters. The ban applies to individuals who have been present in a red list country within the past 14 days, making it nearly impossible for travelers to plan their journeys without facing significant hurdles. This policy effectively cuts off travel from these nations, leading to empty flights, deserted airports, and a noticeable decline in international travel.
While the administration justifies this measure as essential for national security, citing the need to prevent the spread of contagious diseases and protect the health of its citizens, critics argue that it unfairly targets specific countries and populations, leading to widespread protests and heated political debates. The lack of transparency surrounding the criteria for inclusion on the red list exacerbates these concerns, as many are left wondering why certain countries are targeted while others are not. This has led to accusations of discrimination and xenophobia, with many believing that the policy is rooted in prejudice rather than genuine public health concerns.
The blanket ban on travel from red list nations has far-reaching consequences, disrupting personal connections, hindering business operations, and creating a ripple effect that impacts various sectors of society. By isolating these countries on the global stage, the ban not only affects the individuals directly involved, but also has broader implications for international relations and cooperation. The human cost of this policy is significant, separating families, disrupting educational opportunities, and causing emotional distress for those unable to reunite with loved ones. Additionally, the ban creates barriers to cultural exchange, halting international festivals, closing museums, and putting a stop to cultural exchange programs that foster understanding and collaboration between nations. Businesses are also feeling the strain, with international meetings and conferences being canceled or moved online, leading to a loss of personal interaction and potential business opportunities. The economic impact is profound, as industries reliant on international travel, such as tourism and hospitality, face significant downturns, leading to job losses and economic instability. As the debate continues, there are calls for a more balanced approach that addresses public health concerns without disproportionately affecting certain populations, advocating for policy changes that are fair and transparent. The hope is that with ongoing dialogue and review, a more equitable solution can be found, allowing for the safe resumption of travel and the reconnection of people across the globe. Section 4. Orange List Countries. Navigating partial restrictions. This section delves into the complexities and nuances of traveling to countries that fall under the Orange List category. Countries on the Orange List face partial travel restrictions, which means that while travel is not entirely prohibited, it is subject to a range of limitations and conditions. These restrictions often limit travel for specific purposes such as business, medical, or diplomatic reasons, making it essential for travelers to have a clear and justified reason for their journey. Additionally, travelers may be required to undergo enhanced screening procedures, which can include more rigorous security checks and health screenings to ensure the safety and security of both the travelers and the destination country.
These restrictions vary depending on the country and may include limitations on visa issuance, making it more challenging for travelers to obtain the necessary documentation for their trip. Enhanced vetting processes at ports of entry are also common, with customs and immigration officers conducting thorough checks to verify the purpose and legitimacy of the travel. In some cases, travelers may be subject to mandatory quarantine periods upon arrival, which can range from a few days to several weeks, depending on the country's regulations and the traveler's health status. The Orange List aims to mitigate security risks, while allowing for essential travel and maintaining some level of connectivity with these nations. This balance is crucial for ensuring that necessary travel can continue without compromising safety.
However, the partial restrictions imposed on Orange List countries still pose significant challenges for travelers. The uncertainty surrounding visa approvals, the increased scrutiny at borders, and the potential for delays and disruptions create a climate of anxiety and discourage travel for all but the most essential purposes. The uncertainty surrounding visa approvals, the increased scrutiny at borders, and the potential for delays and disruptions create a climate of anxiety and discourage travel for all but the most essential purposes. This can be particularly stressful for travelers who need to make urgent trips or have time-sensitive commitments.
The economic impact of these restrictions on Orange List countries is also a cause for concern. Businesses reliant on international travel, tourism, and cross-border collaboration face significant challenges, potentially leading to job losses and economic hardship. The ripple effects of these restrictions can be felt across various sectors, from hospitality and retail to finance and healthcare. As businesses struggle to adapt to the new normal, the long-term economic consequences could be profound, affecting not just individual companies but entire economies.
Section 5. The Yellow List, a race against time for security compliance. In today's interconnected world, security compliance is more critical than ever. The Yellow List is a key component in the global effort to ensure safety and security. The Yellow List serves as a conditional category, a sort of probationary status for countries that need to address specific security concerns. It's a wake-up call for nations to take immediate action, granting countries a 60-day period to address security concerns. This time frame is crucial, as it sets a clear deadline for necessary improvements, or face potential travel restrictions. These restrictions can have significant impacts on a country's economy and international relations, making compliance a high-stakes race against time.
This list functions as a warning system, alerting governments to the urgent need for action. It's not just a bureaucratic measure, it's a critical tool for maintaining global security, signaling to governments that their security protocols do not meet U.S. standards. This can include a range of issues, from inadequate border controls to insufficient counterterrorism measures, and requiring them to take immediate action to avoid being upgraded to the orange or red list. These higher categories come with even more severe consequences, including comprehensive travel bans. The Yellow List aims to incentivize countries to improve their security measures. It's a push towards better practices and stronger defenses, and cooperate with U.S. authorities on information sharing and counterterrorism efforts. This collaboration is essential for tackling global threats that no single nation can handle alone.
However, the 60-day time frame for compliance can be challenging for some countries. The pressure to meet these deadlines can be immense, especially those facing resource constraints or political instability. For these nations, the demands of the yellow list can seem almost insurmountable. Critics argue that this approach puts undue pressure on developing nations. They contend that the yellow list may not take into account the unique challenges these countries face, and may not be an effective way to achieve lasting security improvements. Some experts suggest that a more tailored approach might yield better results.
The yellow list highlights the interconnected nature of global security. It underscores how the security of one nation can impact the safety of others, and the need for international cooperation to address common threats. Diplomatic efforts and shared intelligence are key components of this strategy. However, it also raises questions about sovereignty and the role of the U.S. in global security matters. The balance between national autonomy and international security is a delicate one, and the yellow list is at the heart of this ongoing debate.